Well, our next guest has got over 15 years of experience in the hotel industry, having worked with many of the best-known hotel brands right across the planet. He's held major positions within the Marriott international chain for the past 10 years, most recently being the hotel manager of the Aloft Almina and the Element Almina. Now he is the hotel manager of the Meridien Dubai Hotel and Conference Centre. We were going to bring him in on Monday, but, Gujarat lost, so we thought we'd give him a couple of days to kind of recover. And now he's in. Bhavesh Rawal, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really good to be here.
It's great to have you in. Dubai is a fast-paced city. Things change so much. You've been in this industry 15 years. How do you remain competitive after 15 years?
I think it's all about, being in the market. I've been in Dubai over 15 years with the hotels. But the hotel where I am currently is the Meridien Dubai, which has been the iconic hotel, in Dubai. We have a history of over 40 to 50 years. So this was one of the first hotels which was in Dubai. And being competitive is obviously it's a lot depends on the concepts, it's a lot depends on the pricing and a lot of other factors.
And when you've got that history, can that strength sometimes be a weakness in Dubai? Because this is a city that seems to love flash and big and new and biggest and tallest, and being the original in a lot of cultures, that's a great thing. But sometimes in Dubai, does that maybe play against you?
It does, and that's why it's very, very important to be innovative. It's very important to have some new ideas, some new thoughts, when it comes to the restaurants. So let's talk about like this particular summer. We just came out with a new brunch, for the warehouse, the iconic warehouse, which is called A Summer of Love. And that's something which is going to put us apart, and will try to help us to attract more new clients to our hotel.
Now, when you say new clients, the targeting of new clients obviously is based on, different age groups, different clients who come in, be it leisure clients or business clients. Now, amongst all of this, one common factor is social media. Social media has taken literally everything by the storm. If it is not Instagrammable, maybe it's not visitable. Is that the fact that worries you at some point in time, or it is a tool that you think that, listen, let's ride this wave?
No, it is a very, very important factor. And I think everybody, who's in Dubai wants to post something on the social media, which people talk about, which people want to see around it, right? And that's where I think we have a huge advantage. We have a great marketing team, a great PR team, which basically helps us doing all those little, tick boxes over here. And as I just mentioned as well, like the Summer of Brunch or a Salacious, which is going to be our ladies' evening, right? That all is again done in a way where you could have a lot of booths for Instagrams.
Yeah, it's about getting that traction, definitely. But in your career personally, 15 years is a long time in a fast-paced hospitality industry. What made you want to start? What made you want to take up hospitality as a career?
That's a very interesting question, right? And a lot of people ask me that. I think for being in this industry, you have to be passionate. And I was lucky enough, my parents were also from the same industry. And a lot of my friends who talk about the glamour, who talk about the, the fun-filled day, and I think that was the first, I would say, the attractions which I had to get in the industry.
But is it really that glamorous? I mean, there's so many times people, when you get in, it's shift work and weekends, and there's a long time in kitchens. There's so much work that a lot of people don't see about staying in a glamorous luxury hotel.
I always tell people it's about an individual, how passionate and how committed you are. This industry is full of glamour. I agree with you where you said, a lot of people on the other side of the bench feel the more glamour.
Yeah.
But to be very honest, I truly, truly love it, truly enjoy it, and I think it's totally a great industry to be in.
Now, you mentioned that it's a great industry to be in, you've seen the positive sides of it. Which has been in your career the most challenging part of this industry?
Again, an interesting question. The most challenging part in my personal career was I was an executive chef for Marriott, and was the transition from the chef to the food and beverage and to the hotel manager. Because obviously as a chef, you are behind the scenes, and then you're coming in front of the house, meeting the guest, coming out to the strategies, and that is a big change which people take a bit longer, but I think I was very fortunate and very lucky to work around with some really talented people who actually helped me out.
Look, that's a credit to you. There's not a lot of hotel managers that can go into the kitchen and say, that's not how you cut an onion. Do you still do that?
I try to be away from that, but I do. And you know what the good part is, and I think one of the important reasons I'm able to manage this hotel is this is a big hotel with a huge food and beverage. We have 18 restaurants, and every cuisine, starting from Japanese to Asian to Chinese, every cuisine, and one of the biggest, huge catering department as well. Because of the background what I have, it always puts me up on an upper edge.
And how do you remain authentic when you've got so many restaurants? How do you find authentic in terms of sourcing produce for so many different cuisines?
There's only one key to success. And most of my restaurants has got native, authentic chefs from that country.
Mm-hmm.
So Kiko is a Japanese restaurant. My chef is from Japan. We produce we just get all our producers from regular suppliers, which are basically specialized into getting those stuff.
Yeah.
No, this is incredible, considering the fact that there are so many things that, minute details that one as a consumer does not probably understand when they experience something. But, one versus the other, you've mentioned that you've been yourself a man of the kitchen. Which has been the most difficult cuisine to cook?
I would say Asian cuisine, right? Because Asian cuisine has got a lot of strong flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every flavor has a very, very important role, starting from lemongrass to galangan, right? And it's the quantity what you got to put into it, it's the freshness what you want to put it, and it's the time you actually use that ingredient inside the food item, right? So Asian is one of a very, very specialized cuisine, I would say.
Do you believe, I know you do work as the hotel manager, but when it comes down to cooking, I can go to restaurants, but sometimes, great food is found in the home. Is that what you find challenging, that if maybe these ingredients weren't part of as a chef, your culture growing up with food, does that make it hard to really adapt in that situation? Because there's an innate sense with certain foods that if your grandmother and your mother have cooked it, that comes in your produce.
See, I still believe that the homemade food is still one of the best ones.
Yeah.
And produce is definitely important, but it is the authentic way that produce was being cooked and was being brought on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is coming up to your first summer at the Meridien Dubai Hotel and Conference Centre. We speak to a lot of business people and hotel chains, and they're saying they're gearing up, that this summer is not like previous summers. The dip in trade is not there. What are you guys trying to do differently to remain competitive over summer?
So as I just mentioned as well, we're starting a lot of new promotions into all the outlets. We spoke about the Summer of Brunch at the warehouse. We spoke about the Salacious, the Ladies' Night. We're having something beautiful on the pools to attract more clients as well.
So on that, the Summer of Love, that's the Saturday summer brunch at the warehouse, and that's going to be more a 70s, 80s and 90s vibe. So Neil and I can go and not feel old. That's great.
It's our kind of music then.
It is. And you know what? We've seen a good amount of demand as well for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So on this Saturday is our first brunch. It's priced, again, very, very, very competitive. It's for 195 dirhams for good 4 hours of eating and drinking, free flow. So I think it's a great place to be in there.
I quite like the idea. Now, if you were to recommend something like this to our producer Pranav, who is, very much single, doesn't get those many dates as he should at his age, what would you recommend for a good weekend out?
Oh, I would say just come to our brunch.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. I think that's very good. Well, Bhavesh, we know how busy you are. Thank you very much for coming in, despite your success. It's very impressive to see someone that's moved from being a chef into executive management.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here. Thanks a lot.
And do you have a tip on the World Test Championship between India and Australia next week?
Oh, only one tip, right?
Australia. There we go. Thank you so much. Bhavesh Rawal, the hotel manager from the Meridien Dubai Hotel and Conference Centre. And a reminder that Summer of Love, the brand new Saturday summer brunch, is coming to the warehouse from 1 o'clock Saturdays. Thank you very much.
Thank you.